Nigel Farage has taken a surprising U-turn on his previously critical stance toward Kemi Badenoch, following a shocking revelation that has seemingly reshaped his perspective. Once a vocal critic of Badenoch, Farage now appears to be recalibrating his approach, signaling a potential shift in the dynamics of their political feud. This unexpected development raises questions about Farage's strategy, and whether this newfound tone marks a genuine change of heart or a calculated move in his broader campaign to position Reform UK as the dominant force in British politics. Either way, this twist adds another layer to the ever-evolving landscape of UK political rivalries. Watch this video.
2025 marks a turning point where a really big change, a positive change is coming.
But it's interesting what you say, Nigel, about your popularity and whether people want to hug you or whether they want to take you on and have an argument with you. How has that changed for you in 2024 personally? Probably, I would say, following on maybe from being in the jungle at the end of 23.
Well, there's no question that the jungle made a huge difference, because the jungle, I was in there for 24 days. You can't hide, you can't pretend to be what you're not, and people saw me for what I am. Now, they can like it, not like it, but they can at least form an impression. So the jungle helped. I think, it's political, I guess, but I think the sheer ineptitude of Keir Starmer, of now Kemi Badenoch, I mean, frankly, have you seen her New Year's message? It's embarrassing. I mean, it's so low grade, it's unbelievable. And I think, whether I'm talented or not, I perhaps look rather more able than the other two to an awful lot of people. So yeah, I think perceptions of me as a person have changed over the course of this year. And the political party that I lead, Reform, you wait. Give it 2 weeks and see where we are in the opinion polls, and the establishment are going to be shocked. Massive historical change is coming to Britain. It's coming quickly, and in my opinion, it's badly needed.
Nigel Farage is convinced that Britain stands at the brink of a profound political transformation. With public dissatisfaction toward mainstream parties reaching a boiling point, Farage has adeptly positioned himself and Reform UK as the credible alternatives to a broken establishment. Capitalizing on a widespread perception of ineffectiveness among traditional leaders, Farage presents himself as a man of action in contrast to the inertia of his rivals. Keir Starmer, plagued by accusations of lacking vision and decisiveness, and Kemi Badenoch, representing a fractured Conservative party losing its grip on voter confidence, serve as convenient foils for Farage's message. By highlighting their shortcomings, Farage frames himself as a pragmatic leader with solutions tailored to the frustrations of the British public.
Even being 60 was a moment for celebration. Forget the votes, forget the seats in Parliament, forget the nearly 160,000 members that we're about to break in the next hour. No question. My 2 grandsons being born this year, one of the most incredible, really incredible episodes of my life, and something that means so much to me. And that comes above absolutely everything.
Nigel, good evening. It's Ben. Happy New Year to you. 2 very quick questions. Have you heard from Kemi yet?
No apology has been forthcoming, and therefore I will be giving a response on Friday.
Oh, there we go.
What I'm going to do, she won't like it. She really, really won't like it, but she could still apologise.
Okay, second question is, we heard and we...
Farage's stint on "I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here" offered a shrewdly executed public relations coup, showcasing his personal side to millions. This unconventional move allowed him to break through the polished yet distant veneer of career politicians, presenting himself as relatable and grounded. Combined with the birth of his grandsons, a symbol of hope and generational responsibility, Farage's narrative merges personal milestones with political ambition, appealing to voters seeking leaders who prioritize long-term national well-being over short-term gains. Farage sees an opportunity to harness the public's growing demand for authenticity and bold leadership. The recent surge in Reform UK's support and his relentless critique of the status quo reflect his readiness to seize the moment. However, the road ahead is fraught with challenges. Farage must prove he can maintain relevance beyond media stunts, translate public sentiment into electoral success, and counter efforts by mainstream parties to brand him as divisive. To achieve this, Farage's strategy hinges on grassroots engagement, relatable messaging, and presenting concrete policy solutions that position Reform UK as a legitimate contender for power, not just a protest party. If he can channel the current tide of discontent into a focused movement, Farage may well deliver the political earthquake he so confidently predicts. Nigel Farage has unleashed a scathing critique of the establishment, branding the grooming scandals as a mass rape abomination, and pointing the finger squarely at figures like Keir Starmer for their alleged inaction. In doing so, Farage skillfully channels widespread public fury over the systemic abuse of young girls and the apparent failure of political and legal authorities to act decisively. By framing these atrocities as emblematic of institutional neglect, Farage casts himself as a champion for justice, resonating with those who feel betrayed by a system that has long ignored their outrage and grievances. Watch this video.
Today we've learned what the Labour solution to the Channel crisis, or perhaps some would even say Channel emergency, is. Yes, Sir Keir Starmer has revealed all. A hard-hitting column in the Sun newspaper today. He is going to smash the gangs. He's going to treat the gangs as if they were terrorists. And we're going to take a lead in Europe. I have heard that once or twice before in my career. So what's the plan? Well, the plan is that we are going to rejoin Europol. Not Interpol. Interpol, where nation-state police forces cooperate together. No, Europol, which is the European Union's own police force. But here's the bit I can't believe. Even as members of the European Union, we did not join the European Union's refugee and asylum policy. We stayed out of it. But Starmer says that we will rejoin it. We'll do a deal with Brussels. He'll be off to see President Macron next week. The French will be nice and stop the boats coming. Well, optimism is a wonderful quality in life. And in return, we will then take our share of the number of people crossing the Mediterranean. Given that 8,000 people have arrived in Lampedusa alone, the Italian island, in the last 3 days, it seems to me we would actually be taking more people illegally coming from other parts of the world than we currently are, and I don't believe for one moment it would even stop the boats. It's a policy that won't work, and it's a policy that takes us back much closer to being members of the European Union. And I think Starmer's Labour Party, frankly, have made a very, very big mistake today. That's my take.
Nigel Farage has intensified his assault on Keir Starmer's leadership, accusing the former director of public prosecutions of failing to prosecute a grooming case, a charge that strikes at the heart of Starmer's law and order credentials. This line of attack serves a dual purpose. It undermines Starmer's standing on one of the most critical issues for any prime minister and casts doubt on Labour's broader record of protecting vulnerable communities. However, Farage's claims rest on a fine line. Without substantial evidence, they risk being dismissed as opportunistic exploitation of a deeply sensitive issue. Farage's rhetoric about the industrial scale of these abuses resonates with an electorate increasingly disillusioned with institutional authority. By pointing to alleged media and governmental neglect, he aligns himself with public frustrations over a lack of accountability, especially in cases that have caused significant societal harm. Elon Musk's intervention, dubbing Starmer two-tier Keir for prioritizing social media prosecutions over violent crimes, further amplifies the debate, lending Farage's critique global visibility. Yet, Musk's polarizing reputation risks framing the issue as partisan rather than systemic, potentially diluting its impact. Kemi Badenoch's call for a full national inquiry into organized grooming gangs highlights a growing division within the political landscape. Her stance not only contrasts with the government's refusal to lead an inquiry, but also positions her as a decisive voice on an issue central to public concern. This could resonate with disillusioned conservative voters but risks fragmenting party messaging at a crucial time. For Starmer, the stakes are high. Persistent allegations about his key P's tenure threaten to erode his credibility and alienate key swing voters. Silence or deflection risks solidifying the perception of inaction, while a proactive, transparent approach could mitigate the damage. By refocusing on Labour's broader safeguarding policies, Starmer has an opportunity to shift the narrative, but time is not on his side. Farage's bold stance allows him to emotionally connect with working-class voters who feel abandoned by the mainstream parties. However, he must tread carefully. Overplaying his hand or veering into incendiary rhetoric risks alienating moderates and reducing his critique to partisan noise. The scandal itself symbolizes deeper public discontent with institutional failures, media complicity, and government inaction, a potent mix that Farage is leveraging to position Reform UK as the voice of accountability and justice. The way this issue evolves will test the political acumen of Farage, Starmer, and Badenoch. Media coverage will play a decisive role. Whether it emphasizes systemic failures or devolves into a focus on partisan blame could shape the trajectory of public sentiment. In this high-stakes debate, the credibility and leadership of all parties involved are under intense scrutiny, making this scandal not just a political flashpoint, but a litmus test for the nation's appetite for justice and accountability. Thanks for watching. Stay connected. Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with our latest videos and stay ahead of the curve on the issues shaping our world. For even more, join our free Telegram group, link in the description, for uncensored, no-holds-barred discussions on the topics that matter most. Be part of the conversation. Your voice counts.